Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and the long-awaited Mythic Showdown Season 1 is finally here with us tonight, and we're going to be kicking things off immediately with the wildcard stage matches. And it's going to be a best-of-3 series on, of course, presented by, of course, Indian Gaming Corps and Vista. And the first match of the evening, it's going to be between Rayuga Esports and Emperors, and I'm going to be your host, Ray, and joining me is, of course, two beautiful ladies, which is, of course, Debbie and Sarah. So it is nice to have you guys back here. And of course, Debbie, it's your debut on IGC. So how are you feeling about it?
Yeah, I'm really excited, Ray. And this is a fairly new environment. It's kind of similar, but still, it's gonna be a legit rocking, because to start things off, we have two important teams into the board. So I'm really, really excited to see what they will present for us.
And Sarah, nice to have you here again.
Of course, and I'm actually more thrilled to be casting alongside Ray and Debbie, both of you, because
Yay.
you're two of my favorites. You know
Yay.
that. And obviously, we are starting off the first match of the wildcard stage, that too of the first Mythic Showdown in India, presented by In-Game Corps, as Ray mentioned. And the first match itself is going to be between Emperors and Rayuga Esports. While Rayuga, they already have quite a reputation in the community, I think.
Yes, of course they do. And we're actually well acquainted with a few of those players, especially Chocolate Chan, right? So I'm really looking forward it's been a while since I've actually seen him into the Land of Dawn, so I'm really looking forward how he performs. And of course, there's also a new team that I'm seeing, which is Emperors. Let's see if their name can signify something like, Emperors are all mighty and strong. Can they signify it into the game as well? And this is a best-of-3 series, and it's just game number 1. I'm excited to see how it moves forward, Debbie.
Yep, this is very exciting because the drafts are all out, and I think the healers are so much of an importance these days, because if you look at the bans coming through, they already take out the healers, right? 3 already gone, and in addition with the studios. So what are the things up in the metas?
Exactly so. And like you were mentioning, the whole meta, it revolves around those healers. You pick a healer, you pick a fire jungle, you pick up an MM, which goes on towards late game. Half the draft is yours already. And now we can see Team Empress target banning that Hayabusa, like you were mentioning, Choco-chan, just phenomenal on that hero. And here I would like to think that Team Rayuga, they ban out on the Jukshin, very irritating on towards the mid, but okay, they go in for a Frederick ban instead.
Interesting. But let's see what's gonna be the first pick. Okay, it's gonna be the Lucas. Of course, the highlight of this patch is Naruto. I mean, he's the main character from the anime, so why not just log in the main character? But let's see if it'll work out in favor or not. Debbie, what are your predictions? Because of course you're great at analyzing.
All right. Yeah, this is what I was having in mind, because when you pick up the Lucas, you're just trading it out, just playing fire with fire, because the Valentina is always gonna be coming into play, and especially into the hands of Ezekiel. He's been such an amazing mid laner. He have a wide variety of hero pools as well. He can play out onto this aggressive mid laners as well as those weak mid laners as well. But yeah, this is what the advantage that Rayuga Esports have right now. So without further ado, they have to secure onto the Valentina just to try to get the beast form. And this time around, I think Lucas has always been put into the jungle, so he's always gonna be all over the map, which is like a mirror kind of rotation for a mate too. So I think it will be easier for Ezekiel to just try to take out the ultimates as much as possible.
Exactly so. And now if you see the Kasha and the Valentina having been locked in together for the side of Rayuga, means that they're going to have a hell lot of crowd control out there, and which is going to make the game a lot easier for their goal lane as well. But then again, Empress is answering back quite strong with that Badang pick. The constant knockbacks going to be coming in along with the wall. Obviously, the junction adds up to all of that. the Badang and the Lucas, they're going to be doing the same job together, the knockbacks, the stuns, and the Junction to top it off, the constant knockups.
I just find it funny that my wife is getting played by another good dude called Ray. It's like
I
it's just
saw
it's
the
just a
video.
it's just a funny coincidence. I actually did not notice his name till now, but yeah, it's funny. Go Ray, go play with Zushin as much as
Right.
you want. I'm rooting for you. Sorry guys, caster bias right now. Let's hope it's not cursed. But yeah, so far we're seeing the glue coming, and it's gonna be interesting because glue has one weakness and it's the Vixana and Faramis. But since the mid lane has already been locked, Vishal also locked in that glue, knowing that there might not be a concrete counter for him.
And I think this is, this might possibly be the better way to, just saying. Because, he's going to be using the Deucin as well. But the thing is, what I like about the early game mid potential for this side of Emperors is that they do have the Deucin now. And, there's got to be a better clearance for both of these mid laners. So we're gonna be, expecting a very aggressive early game. But the thing for the side of Emperors right now is that they do have a Badang, but it's still a flex pick. So the bans are going to be coming through for the side of Ryuga Sports. They have to ban out the chunky heroes because it's still a flex. The Badang is not known where it's going to be going. So the Hylos, I think it's a very, very solid choice to ban for. But what will Ryuga here go for now? Is it going to be a jungle ban? Okay, there we go, Alpha.
Exactly, the alpha getting banned out right away because obviously that thing can counter Lucas pretty well. But on the side of Ryuga, though, they do need to ban out on the goal lane as well, probably the carry since they have the Karukaja as well as the glue. Though the carry would be rendered a little bit useless because she has quite the small range if you know about it. But then again, they do need to ban out on possible goal lane. Maybe even the Moskov or the Kimi. We are missing out on the Kimi.
Oh.
Kimi has been my favorite, absolute favorite. I just spam Kimi right now because she's so overpowered. Like, play her in any lane. Not EXP, of course. But yeah, playing gold lane, playing mid lane, she's gonna work out perfectly fine. But I do prefer mid lane. So both mid laners have already been picked. So I think it's just gonna go into the gold lane if it's gonna get picked out.
Yep, definitely something that Emperor needs to do now. But I think they're just chunking down narrowing down the choices for Chocolate Chan here. Just banning out the jungles that can literally be a direct counter for the Lucas here. But one thing for sure is that, Kimi has been mostly used into the mid lane. It hasn't been successful into the goal lane most of the time, but into the right hands it will be. But it's not that much of a shredder, so does Emperor, not Emperor, but will Ryuga pick it away, or do they need something like a physical attack hero? Because that's gonna be needed. But the Joy is gonna be banned away. It's so late, right? The Joy ban's coming so late. They have been completely ignoring this hero.
Exactly. And now actually Team Ryuga, they do have quite a lot of options open. Rustin, he can still pick up on the Granger, but that would mean that Emperor has the free access to the Irritel. But they could also lock in the Irritel for themselves. Or the Kimi, like we were mentioning, there's also a Moskov, there's a carry. There's literally any goal lane that they can pick up right now. While Chocolate-chan, his options, yes, they are a bit narrowed down, but I think he's gonna go in for that pocket pick, the Julian right there.
Oh, Julian. Really go for it.
Julian, funny enough, I would accept this. I've lost against this Julian, so I can actually testify. Like, he is a menace on the Julian. Like, I was not expecting the burst that was coming from him, but also at the same time, like, it's been a while. It's been a long while, and this Julian has received a lot of nerfs, not just to his kit, but also the itemization. The rose gold doesn't support him 100% anymore, so I'm really interested to see if Chocolate Chan will commit to it. If he does, it would be a really good surprise, but of course it's a best of 3 series. Everything needs to be calculated, because if you lose out the game number 1, if you want it, you'll have to go for a reverse sweep, right? So with that, we're seeing the Kimi pick against the Clint. I feel like Clint, Kimi, both of them have like tremendous poking abilities, but I just feel like Kimi is just a little bit too strong as the game will go into the later phases.
Yeah, and the mobilities you also have, it's just gonna be very, very highly possible for her to win into the lane. But this is a claim we're talking about, the cowboy the western side. I don't know where he's from, but he's gonna be poking a lot with the double shot. He have a lot of range as well, but it's also dependent on to the skill wise. So meanwhile, for
I got a
Timmy,
bullet with your name on
yeah,
it.
yeah, he's just gonna headshot onto the head, or maybe there's a possibility that we're gonna be seeing a clean winning at the lane. But look at the last pick, Relo MLBB YT will be going for the Hilda here. So this feels like the XP laners doesn't want to stay into the XP lane, right? They just want to clear out, rotate all over the map, and stay with the teams. But look at the last pick coming in. Sarah did mention that Dyrus is like the
Told
most,
ya.
it's
told
I
like,
know.
yeah, you
She
jinxed
knows.
it. There we go. She knows Chocolate Chan really well.
Exactly.
She knows
So,
everyone.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
yeah, that's just the perks of being active. People, just active around people around you.
Yeah,
But then
just
again, in terms of meta and draft, Team Emperor is definitely looking quite strong here, especially with the Lucas, the Hilda, as well as the Badan. That's like three damn frontliners for the Kimi and the Jukshin to play around. While Team Rayuga, they do have two of those frontliners, and even Valentina will be quite the tanky little thing once she copies off the Lucas ultimate. But then again, early team fights, Emperor does have the chance to win. Unless Chocolate Chan on that Durat gets the pickoffs right before the Darul, which is exactly what he will be aiming for as we head right on to the land of dawn, ladies and gentlemen.
Of course, Sarah already gave the intro, but ladies and gentlemen, this is gonna be the wildcard stage, best of 3 series, and this is the first match. Don't worry about the issues that we're facing on the stream right now. Our production will be getting into it soon, but till then, enjoy the match. And right now, our casters, Debbie and Sarah, will be taking it over from here. So, guys, take it over.
Thank you so much, Ray, the Juicin's husband, as he liked to say, but a little bit of skirmishes onto the mid side, Ezekiel taken quite low. This is the poking game we were talking about, right? Under the Juice, and she's gonna be always available most of the time and just trying to drone out every single minions. But the thing is, level 1 for Ezekiel onto the Valentina, and then we can see Relo onto the Juice already level 2. But look at that aggression coming in onto the jungle.
Exactly, so that early rotation is definitely going to be coming in stronger on the side of Emperors because they do have the Hilda to lurk around on the bushes. Though I believe in terms of jungle, a Chocolate Chan will be the one having a greater amount of EXP at the first turtle because Lucas, he did get a little bit delayed. Neither did he manage to secure that turtle. So we will really have to see how the initial engages come in because at the moment there's just going to be little skirmishes on towards the mid as the Valentina is going to be playing the poke game while Katot and everyone else is just going to be looking for the. But look at that Rocco getting caught out pretty early on. Lucas with that knockback while Relo MLBB takes away the first blood for Emperors.
Oh my goodness, what a good initiation coming in. Only one with the rotation so very early on, and I think Rocco wasn't, given the communication, given the signal that the XP laner was missing. So it was, at what moment to get caught into the mist right there very early on. And I think this time around, the first turtle will be so important for both of these jungles because fighter jungles, you just want to have that snowball rolling on for you as well. And when you are onto the Lucas, you want to have that beast form to try to secure out the objective. So I think for the side of Emperor, they do want to set it up, but that's the pressure, right? That's the pressure that's going to be coming out from Visal onto the glue. He's so tanky. He have the heal potential, and he have a lot of joining potential as well. So this is why I like the meta with the Hilda and the glue. They can literally be the backline diver and the distraction as well. But if we focus onto the turtle, the setup is for Emperor here. Will they contest for it though?
That is the question. It's all depends on the retribution. The Gerard does have the level advantage. There comes the AOG. Lucas caught in the middle of it, gets taunted. Chocolate Chan secures the retribution, also manages to find the double onto Kiana as well as Ray, and the triple onto only one. While Visal obviously steals away the maniac onto Relo MLBB YT. That's a very, very first successful team fight coming in from the sides of Rayuga Esports right there.
Yep, a little bit stumble into the early game, but now the first turtle already secured by Chocolate Chan means that they want to rotate down below Ezekiel, just trying to force setup.
They did want one right there on towards the bottom lane, but that is going to be an easy turret shield taken away. Ray trying to look for some kind of an engage, but will be
Ooh.
caught in the middle of four people.
What?
Not the best of decision to take to go in just like that. While there's a glue and a Kacha trying to defend that those minions, while Rustin here takes down the turret, and on top side a one single kill taken down by Chocolate Chan on that Derot onto only one.
Yeah, a lot of winning lanes, especially for the side of Team Ryuga. But look at that, another one.
Again on towards the mid, perfect use of Blue's ultimate as well as the AOG, two resources, but definitely an important kill onto the Jukshin, because now they can easily take down the mid lane tier one, the most important turrets of the game. But look at Visal being the annoyance and the menace he is on towards the back line, only one getting caught out here. Hilda gonna be taken down so very easily, while look at Chocolate Chan onto the back line, takes down Lucas without anyone even noticing him. Sneaky little boy right there.
Very, very sneaky. The Prince of the Abyss just showing dominance in his demonic form most of the time, and I think he secured two turrets, almost two turrets and a kill. That has to be the best game that they can have so far. And in pair, they do not have any chance for survivability and even a chance to try to reply to all the sets, all the plays made by the side of Ryuga, because as we focus onto the goal right now, it's already 7k goal lead. But look at that killing spree onto Ray. So the frontliner is so squishy. I don't think they can be looking for sets here.
Exactly, Visal just zoning them so far away. While Rustin seems to be chunking down the turrets like it's his food. So easy for him on that clean to use of the passive and just get the turrets as much as possible. A 3-level jungle gap already in favor of Team Ryuga Esports. Look at Rocco though, he's onto with the backline along with Visal. They go in for Kian. He does manage to secure the red and run away from that sticky little situation. Manages to save his life for once. Even though the scoreboard it's at 1 to 10, no matter what kind of knockups Relo does here, or even if the Kimi lands her ultimate, it's not going to be helpful. Rocco there with the revitalize saves his teammates, while Giraffe manages to secure that monster kill in favor of Ryuga, and now they're going to move in for the turret so very easily. Look at that dive though, and the perfect little flicker play coming in by Ezekiel, and amazing little plays coming in as Team Ryuga. They will steadily be winning in this match.
Oh my goodness, they are so comfortable. They can dive in and get away without getting punished with that pixel of HP. What a good move coming out from Ezekiel, able to kite away without getting harmed. And only one, on the thing he can do is just run away at this point. And the problem with the draft right now for the Emperor is that they do have an early game aggression type of draft, but when they do not have that spacing or their turrets as well, I don't think there are chances that Hilda will be popping up. There won't be any dive, there won't be any sets, whatever kind of stuns or sets or any crowd control Ray's gonna be making. I think there's just lacking out the damage, and it's just useful, more advantageous for the side of Ryuga here, because look at that, they will dive in again onto the back lines.
And we can see the engage coming in once again onto the Amigo ultimate by the Kimi right there, but it wouldn't be much of an use. The farm gap is an insane 12k? Is that a 12k goal lead I see at the 7-minute mark? Oh my goodness. Obviously, Team Ryuga, even though the Kimi landed a very good ultimate and even though he's on 0 deaths at the moment, it wouldn't be of any use because Ryuga, they're going to steadily take down the inhibitors. There's no shield, there's no one to protect them from Clint's poke, while Visal and Garkacha, they are simply going to be going in for the base. There's 2 strong minions. Lucas having used up the ultimate. Ray tried for the Fist of Zen right there, of no use, and Team Ryuga will now back off for the Lord.
Yep, what a good discipline. Even though they have so much of a goal lead, 12k goal lead under 7 minutes of this game, they're very disciplined. They're so on point in whatever they are doing. They just engage enough to take the important persons down and even chunk down the XPs of the frontliners as well. So I think at this point Ryuga, they have the chances they are just gonna be waiting for the Lord, and they can possibly look for an ending, because the win cons for the side of Emperors is so bleak, it's so thin. I don't even see anyone. And even though Kimi is 0, that's like I mentioned, I don't think she have the goal required to be that threat that they were drafting for her. So the Lord will be secured by Choco-chan, and I think it's gonna be it's gonna be a little bit hard for Emperor to try to defend it again.
Exactly. And while you were mentioning that, I think you saw it, right? The Clint, he flickered in one skill one and an enhanced basic attack, took away 90% of Tushin's HP. And had she not ulted, she was dead right there. And now the Lord is going to be marching down the top lane. The lanes are going to be synced. The Clint is just doing God's work here. He is simply just poking them so well. The inhibitor's gone. Valentina is killed. Goes in with the Lucas. Again, the flicker play comes in. Rocco gets the kill on towards Kian. Good ultimate by the way. But not useful here. Chocolate Chan going in right inside the base. Getting the turret, but uses the Winter Crown right on time. AOG right onto the back line. Not necessary. The base is already dead. Ryuga takes down game 1 for 1-0.
Oh my goodness. That was a good set from Ray, but what is the set when you do not have the damage Ryuga with the Dick case and with so much of a good protocols they had been going on, running in for them a clean game. Only one death until their rumor, Rocco, it was Gato who died into the early game, and that's just the kill. And with this high kill pressure coming out from the opponents for the side of Empire, they weren't able to take the kills, which means
रहा था, कर देने वाला है थोड़ा सा। फिर से यहाँ पर लौट आएंगे, अंदर जाएंगे, परफेक्ट।
The wildcard stage of course, Mythic Showdown Season 1, and we're going to be diving straight back into the game number 2 of this match 1, the first match of the evening between Ryuga Esports and, of course, Emperors. Ryuga is leading with 1 score right now, and they can make it a clean sweep. So let's see if it's going to be possible or not, or Emperors will rise for the occasion. Onto the casting desk, of course, I'm your host, Ray, and joining me are, of course, back again, the two beautiful ladies, Debbie and Sarah. The previous match, Debbie, it was quite a fast-paced one. Do you think Emperor stands a chance this time?
I think I do not think the draft was the problem. They did draft a really really well, but it's the execution part. They have an early game competition which they try to use it a little bit into the first minute of this game. They were able to take a kill as well onto the Roma, but I did not think that they were using that to their full potential, full advantage as well. So I think they should try to, synergize a little bit more and try to understand what they were drafting for as well. So if they do that, I think there are high a chance that they may be able to stand some ground against Ryuga. But Ryuga Esports, we have seen into the first game, right? So it's kind of a little bit harder for them. So Emperor, they need to do something a little bit more than they did into the first game.
True that, true that. And that first game, it was just so unnecessarily quick either and unprecedented as well because Team Ryuga, they were like, we don't care where you are. We're going to take your turrets and we're going to win this
Yeah.
match in 9 minutes. And that's exactly what they did. And Team Emperors, even though they had quite the strong draft right there, they couldn't fully utilize it to their potential. And once again in this match, we can see the healers getting banned out
Yep.
left and right. And hopefully Team Emperors here will definitely be a stronger competition to Ryuga this time around.
Yes, and I love and hate this thing. The thing is that the healer is getting recognition. I mean, I might be a
Yes.
guy, but I love playing these healers. Okay, especially Florian. She's so cute. But right now, I hate it because she's meta again, and right now she gets banned. I cannot really pocket pick her anymore because people either first pick her or they just immediately ban her out. How am I supposed to use my Sanrio skin? Come on, guys. Like, low-key, I want her to fall from the meta, but at the same time, it's nice that she's getting recognition. But yeah, jokes aside, the healers getting banned out also means that they are trying to perhaps get something. There's a lot of possibilities. They can go for the inter previous game, the mid lane versus mid lane matchup. The Zushin versus the Valentina. I think it's I'm looking for something more fast paced. Like I want to see a Farsa, honestly. But let's see what the first pick is gonna be into the hands of Ryuk. Debbie, any predictions?
Now, will it be a Kimi this time around? Because I think they can play into the mid lane as well because Kimi map planning,
Yeah.
map and range and damage. That's something that most majors doesn't do, and I really really prefer a mid lane Kimi because the gold lane, as we can see into the first game, it wasn't working really well. Yeah, maybe it does depend on the team as well, but we cannot forget. But the thing with Chocolate is he does have a lot of pocket picks, right? So even if he doesn't get the Hayabusa, he can go for something else entirely. But if he goes for the Hayabusa, I would really like it. But I don't know. They want to play it safe, right? The Gatot Kata. But will it be going into the XP or the Rome?
True that. And actually, the thing is that Rocco here, both the games his Garot Kacha, he did get that comfort hero. But this time around, things are a little bit more tricky for the side of Emperors. They can still go in for the Kimi in the mid lane this time, which is a better option than the goal lane. But then again, are they really willing to take that risk? They do not have the Lucas this time around. They do not have the Joy or the Suyo, so they do need to take a fighter or a tank jungle along with the healers. But no, they are going to deny that Hayabusa from Chocolate-chan.
Interesting. But let's see how well it can fare out. Okay, they're going to be prioritizing the highlights. Don't really want that combo of Gatot, like I can't say it in one sitting. Okay, he got no. And no. Let's stop it. But yeah, Okay, I'm really curious actually because it's just, I mean, you guys are familiar and we're familiar as well, but I'm really, oh, okay, they just go in with the safe option, which is the Phobius have a good sandbag, but they commit with the Zushin into the hands of, oh, who was the mid laner again? Ezekiel, right?
Is
Ezekiel? Yeah, okay. And I feel like a Hylos, I know they wanted to prioritize it, but against the Zushin, I feel like the Hylos is just gonna be, he's not gonna be horsing around that much.
The balls of this guy to go for the Jushin when there is already a
Yeah, the
Hayabusa
balls
person.
of this guy, I know, right?
Yeah, the balls. He's got so much balls to go for the Jushin already when there's a Hayabusa.
Yeah,
But
it's a
still,
horse.
I
It
think,
has.
yeah, he just wants to be the counter of the horse instead of being countered by the Hayabusa. But I feel like this time around he's gonna be playing a little bit safer than he was onto the Valentina. So they have to play a little bit slower. But this is a Jushin we're talking about, so definitely only the game into the execution part will tell us what he's gonna be doing. But
Yeah.
a Aurora already so early on, so they want to go for the anti dive, but is Aurora that much of a prior to pick out into the first phase, Sarah?
Yeah, you are kind of correct there. The Aurora here, a bit vulnerable against the
Mm,
Galcatch and the Phobius, but then again, she does have quite a lot of crowd control, which is going to be useful, especially against the Jokshin, because she will have a little bit of a tough time trying to get all her stacks onto Aurora or Hylos or anyone during the team fights. But okay, we can see the Harriet ban
oh,
coming in. Harry, though, are kind of unnecessary since they already have the Galcatch as well as the Jukshin. There's enough
mm,
magic damage right there. They could
they
have
want
gone
to.
in
Mm,
for a physical goal laner, don't you think so?
yeah.
Physical goal laner. I agree. But at the same time, magic is kind of overpowered right now because I've seen people with 5 magic somehow win it out. I mean, other matches, I shout out to people who can make it use. So and also the fact that Harith is just too mobile and a little bit too annoying for a lot of people to handle. So I understand why they would want to ban it out, but at the same time, I also agree. I mean, we can agree on both points, right? Harith is a good ban, but at the same time, there's still a lot of options left out. Reston can just lock in on the Clint again, and the only thing they would require is to make sure that Clint doesn't get taken down by, of course, the Hayabusa. As long as he's safe, they're basically in a good position right now, unless they can pick up a gold laner that can win the lane against Rustin. That's the only possible way, I would say.
Yeah, it's. I think the second time around, I think they'll just try to go for a trade onto the marksmen as well. But for the side of Imperial, they have the first pick now, so they can keep a marksman. Okay, so they opt to go for the Iritel. But what will this Ryuga ban here? Because I don't. There are a lot of options, but there are not so much of a meta here. The Kimi is still ignored, so they do not want him to go in. Might be a possibility as well. But what will Ryuga trade this out with? What are the options? We do have still have a Clean or the Granger too. Oh, they banned the glue. So they are manifesting a high loss into the XP lane. No, the roam as well, right?
Yes, I think so. That they think that the Hylos could go in literally anywhere right now, whether it's the EXP or the roam. But then again, they still have the option of picking up on the Badang. There is Yeah, actually, there is just the Badang, which is a very viable EXP here. But against the Phobias, though, not that sure. But they instead lock in on the Moskov right away, not wanting Team Ryuga to pick that hero up. Moskov, once again, a very irritating marksman in the current meta. Do you think Team Ryuga here could go in for their Granger, since Rustin is so well
Hmm.
known for it?
Granger.
I absolutely okay. He's probably gonna go for a Julian because in textbook Julian is a counter for that Hayabusa because you can easily min it out with that enhanced side. But coming to your question, of course, Sarah, the Granger, I really like. I mean, I love using him, but he's such a huge criminal. Despite numerous like nerfs this guy has received on the previous patch, he's still such a menace into the goal lane. And yep, you're absolutely right. Is Sarah secretly the coach for
Yeah,
Raigo
that's
Esports?
what.
Because how is she predicting everything? Or she's just a goated caster? I'm gonna go with the latter.
Yeah, I'll still go for the latter too. Because,
Oh my
yeah,
god.
She's goaded.
like before
The
the
snow.
like literally before the first match started, I thought, yeah, Silver is very good at the Julian and the Geralt. You should watch him play
Yeah,
those.
yeah,
But this
Yeah, yeah.
man, look at this. He goes in for
It's a
exactly
fortune
those two
teller.
heroes. and now even
Can
the
you tell my
Granger
future?
comes in.
S- Silver is
Exactly.
an open book,
Open
and
oh,
I'm very
open book
Wow.
for Sarah. Yeah.
yeah open book for Sarah, and I'm okay. I won't say it on
Yeah,
YouTube,
but
but
yeah,
yeah,
definitely
let's see how
we can
they how they, oh
identify.
okay. It's gonna be closing off with our
Oh.
Papa Tigreal, the one who carries, but let's see if he is able to carry because there's a Zushin, and of course, a lot of poke from the hands of Zushin, Granger, all of the
Ah,
picks. So let's just see. Debbie, the draft is laid out there in front of you. Which one are you siding so far?
I do. The thing is, I really like the Tiger pick here. A lot of kill pressure for the side of Team Emperor, but there's a lot of tempo breaker for the side of Ryuga as well. So it just depends on how they execute as well these team fights, because
Yeah.
there are a lot of opening spaces, crowd control for the Team Emperor, but they lacked a little bit into the execution part, which Ryuga sports are so good on. So I think if they execute this well, Emperor, they can take this game actually.
True that, true that. But in terms of draft, though, the entirety of Team Emperor's draft is reliant on the Tigreal for the proper implosion setup,
Mm.
while Team Ryuga, they can literally take solo engages everywhere on the map and win those out. Julian, he will win the Hayabusa because he has that immunity on his enhanced second. The Garut Kaja against the Tigreal, another win-win condition. Even the Jokshin and the Granger, it's literally in a 1v1, Team Ryuga wins it. But in a team fight, though,
Mm.
all reliant on the Tigreal for the implosion setups.
Absolutely right, Sarah. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the game number 2 of this best of 3 wildcard stages. And Ryoga Esports is already leading with 1 pointer, and they're here again with game number 2, a very strong draft. Let's see how it proceeds, and let's witness it together. I'm going to be your host, of course, but to give you the excitement of the match is going to be our dear, beautiful casters. It's going to be Debbie and Sarah who will take it over right now.
Thank you for that array, because one thing I want to focus is on Visal. He's got the Vengeance without going for the Flicker or the Revitalize, which, not the Revitalize, but the Flickers which Phobias usually go for, because I think it's mainly dependent on what one is picking out, the Moskov. So a lot of attack speed, but a steal onto the goal side, but a little bit of freeze. But this time around, I think Emperor are changing up on how they approach their execution style, because they are just trying to farm out. Oh, look at that, some skirmishes.
We can see the Hylos getting poked out real well in the early game as well. The
Ooh.
Retribution having used up for the slowdown, and there goes the first blood being stolen away by Visal. Good work right there, but on towards the top as well. Rustin having a free time farming those minions, as well as almost killing the Granger along with the Garkacha. It was really quite useful right there, but then again, not so successful at taking away that Moscow's life. But okay, still a winning lane nonetheless.
A lot of gold tongue down. He's pretty milking out the towers, and that's definitely going to be giving all the gold leads that Tokyo-chan is going to be needing. He's an early game hero. He's going to have that snowball. He wants the snowball, so they have to be careful and pair. They need to stop this Julian as early as possible. But looking so far, I do not think they have the tools to do that. So the first turtle will be so important for them. And Ryuga, I think they still have the setups. They have the prepping. And look at that Ezekiel being such a nonsense for the Tiger.
Exactly. Those constant knockups just going to be so very irritating, not letting the Tigreal even charge in for any kind of plays that he would like to make. And now we will be able to see a proper 5-man rotation on towards the top side though. Rastin, quite aware of the Tigreal's positioning, gets the poke, forces him to recall, which means that now Team Emperor can actually free dive on that Moscow. There's 2 healthy minions, and Moscow, there goes the vision getting taken on him. Visal trying to look for the engage, gets the poke onto the Tigreal. There is the ultimate being used up. 2 slams right there, and Tigreal is down. Haya trying to get the shadows, trying to get them to work, but it does not connect. They're freezing out the minions, waiting for the minions to enter the turret. The Moscow gets knocked up. There goes the ALG, and Ezekiel will be the one securing securing that kill onto the Moskov. Pretty good rotation coming in by Ryuga. While on towards the mid side, we can see Julian having chunk down majority of the gold shield in the bottom as well as the mid lane. And that's how Ryuga is constantly winning out on their rotations.
Yeah, the rotation very early on, tasting out, their roles and lanes as well. Oh, look at that shadow kill. Not much, but
Okay.
yeah. That was, I thought that would be a kill, but yeah, talking about the rotation, right? I think they just want the XPs and other teams, other players to stay together so that Chocolate Time will do the job of split pushing, and he's been doing that, and they successfully took down the bot lane turret as well as the top lane. This is such a clean rotation, and I do not think that Emperor have read this out into the first game as well because they have been doing that. And the direct placed into the lane, just letting him push and having the crowd control, extra crowd control onto the XP side. They have been doing that, but look at that, a bit of trouble.
Okay, we can see the glorious pathway being used up, but then again, it was just to stop the members of Ryuga from charging too further into that mid lane tier 1. But Julian, though, he's doing this thing he always does. He gets a pick off on the opposite lane of where his team is and gets the turret onto that lane. That's such a classic Silverhawk move, and he is utilizing it so very well in this game. And then again, the side of Team Ryuga, look at them though. They're simply not worried about Hayabusa trying to come for the turtle. That's the kind of trust they have in Rocco and Visage for the zoning ability, and they are doing it so fabulously right here.
It's such a bad news, right, for Emperor to give out 2 turtles and a lot of gold shield as well onto the hands of Chocolate Town here. He is a Julian, and if he have the lead already level 9, he's gonna be having a good time. But look at that.
Okay, we can see Kian finally managing to pick 1 kill onto Rustin on that Hayabusa, but Ace Kill with the smart positioning gets the knock up along with Lantern Flare. Will definitely get the kill right here. There goes the retribution as well, and kill secured by Ace Kill. That's a smart mid laner right then and there. Visage trying to go in for the knockups on towards the back line, zoning them away so that they can't help the Hayabusa in the river area. So obviously smart plays coming in by the EXP laner. And look at his rotation. He's coming in from the backside, but there goes the glorious pathway trying to take down Rocco in the middle of all of it. He's trying to survive but will fall prey to the turret damage. No minions left there, but Team Ryuga still looking very, very healthy even after extending for such a long fight under the mid lane tier 1. Hayabusa will try to look for a shadow, try to get the kill, but he gets stunned, but he has the shadow to escape, while Chocolate-chan will chunk down the mid lane tier turret like it's nothing.
Yeah, you can't use the Hayabusa in this kind of competition where they are just so behind, and Hayabusa is gonna be needing a lot of items in his kits to be able to take down the backliners, and it's just it just shows that he's so behind when the hero you're supposed to counter is the one killing you at this point. So okay, Kian, diving in.
Exactly. We can see the Hayabusa trying to look for those little pickups onto Ace Kill or even Rustin. But then again, how much can he really do with the Fulvius and Rocco just stunning them and sitting in front of their faces? There's one shadow on his kill right there, but it won't be enough to get the kill because he does not have his ultimate and he will have to back off. Onto the top side though, look at that split which Julian is doing. He's just my team's fighting. I'm gonna split. I don't care about them. Anyways, he's just so annoying with those moves, but okay, that's what Ryuga is known for. Team Emperor, though, they are holding much better than the first game, but will it still be enough for them to make a comeback, though?
It's definitely hard because on the early game carry onto there has to be for the Hylos to tank out the damage and give the Hayabusa a space to farm, but they haven't been able to give him, so which means it's gonna be a little bit harder for the Moskov, which is a fairly late game hero who needs a lot of equipment. He's not able to farm up, and he is the only win con, but glorious pathway.
Okay, we can see the engage coming in. AOG lands on two, killing spree
Whoa.
for his kid right there. Rustin with the Skypate's passive finds Ray in the middle of it. Basal falling sacrifice for his team, but definitely worthy. It's a 1-for-2 trade. Hayabusa looking for the shadow, but will have to back off with that constant poke from the Rhapsody as well as the Lantern Flare. And now Team Rayuga seems strong. They want the tier 2 on towards the mid lane. Will they find it though is the real question, because they do, and now they'll be backing off and just trying to take down the Lord. And if you notice Chocolate Chan's KDA is 005 at the
Yeah.
moment. There goes Hayabusa with the shadow. And that's
No.
literally practically 0 damage because half of it went on to the minions. But okay, that's a free Lord for the side of Rayuga because no Hayabusa, no ultimate, no retreat battle. Easy Lord right there.
Yep, easy Lord as always. And 3 level gap into the jungles is already your doomsday for Emperor here. So not having the time of their life, the Lord is directly spawning onto the mid side. But look at that. It's just trying to go for the counterplay for the Moscow because he's just trying to split push. But as we all know, Turkat-chan is known for the split push. He's just trying to scout out the members. But if we talk about the goal lead already 7k and the lot into their advantage for the side of Ryuga, they may be trying to look for the base turrets here and even for a potential N. But I think Emperor can try to defend this, right?
Exactly. I think that the fact that they have the turret shield, at least on the mid tower, yeah, they can easily defend this. They will
Yeah,
lose one inhibitor though on towards the top because 4 people pushing on it, simply no one. But there goes the glorious pathway to try and slow down the minions from coming in. Only one taking a lot of poke there. But look at Chocolate Chan. He's doing God's work here. He's going to take down the mid inhibitor as well, which Team Emperor has defended after so much effort, but of no use. Another set of minions going to be chunking in right onto the base. Ray still looking for an implosion play. Hayabusa comes in with ultimate, does get the implosion, but not enough. There comes the AOG. It lands on towards the Aurora. 2 members are already down for the side of Emperor. There goes the triple for Chocolate Chan. Will he find the Maniac? No, he won't. He finds the base before all of that.
Damage. A lot of damage coming out from the Granger. He's just such a manage, and look at the composition for the side of Ryuga. They are made for the snowball, and they had that snowball, which means that they're gonna be having the time of their life, chunking down the HPs of any kind of member for the side of Emperor. And this is crazy. There's a lot of poking games coming out from Ezekiel as well, and execution coming out from Rustin. What a well planned game, and I don't think they even sweat here, right?
Exactly so. And if we were to take a look at the damage and the damage taken stats in this game, and we'll be seeing that definitely it is the Jugian with the highest push. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is game number 2, a 2-0 in favor of Rayuga. Ray, since we have you back with us, please tell us your thoughts.
Honestly, Ryuga Esports just was a little bit. Honestly, they were a little bit too next level for Empress to really be facing off against. I mean, this is of course the wildcard stages, and we're going to be seeing. I mean, this is the Mythic Showdown, and the top teams are yet to face each other. But this is the wildcard, and Ryuga is of course looking like the team that could climb it up easily. But of course, there's going to be other teams that could face. But at least tonight, it's pretty much like very obvious that Ryuga was able to cement themselves as the much stronger team here. Honestly, it was just there wasn't too much to say about the draft. Yes, I feel like Emperor's was a little bit lacking, honestly, especially that Aurora pick, the high loss after when Zushin was open. I feel like a few questionable decisions onto the draft, but as well as the execution, it was pretty obvious that Ryuga was on operating a different level. I mean, Chocolate Chan was 006 almost until last minute, and he only got a kill at the end because he played such objective focused game, and I feel like he did that because he just knew there was no competition for him. So it was a very clean overall game, and of course shout out to the production at of course Indian Gaming Corps. I'm loving the overlay. What do you think, Debbie?
Yeah, it's I was just watching it. It's so aesthetic, right? It's like giving the baddie vibes. It's like mafia and the mafia. It's like it's
Okay.
just giving us the vibe here. It's so beautiful.
Yeah. What about you, sir? What do you think?
Man, I've been with IGC since like season one,
Yeah.
and
Oh
they have definitely got to be my favorites in terms of production. They have simply leveled up each and every single time, and this one, it's got to be their best thing so far, and that
Mhm.
is exactly what they're giving us today. If any little bit of those audio and minor glitches, first game of the day, ladies and
You
gentlemen, just hold
uh,
and wait it. 1 or 2 days give us will perfect and
Mm,
bring you the best production yet. That's IGC for
yeah.
you.
if there's any issues, guys, just blame it on YouTube. YouTube skill
Now blame
issue.
it on me.
Yeah,
Blame it on
no, no, no.
me.
No, I'm not
Yes.
part of production, guys. Don't leak it. But yeah, jokes aside, ladies and gentlemen, that was it. This was a series between Raiga Esports and Emperors, and Raiga Esports was able to take it with a clean sweep 2-4-0. But of course, stay tuned for the next match. It's going to be happening soon. The teams are going to be coming, and if you're a fan of them, of course, stay tuned for that. And of course, this was like if this was a full female desk, okay? I count as a woman today, honorary woman. Jokes aside, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for the next matches, and of course, our dear casters, great performance. So stay tuned for those next matches.
Just like this. Mr. Gary.
रहा था, कद देने वाला है थोड़ा सा। फिर से यहाँ पर लौट आएंगे, अंदर जाएंगे, परफेक्ट। ये तारा इनको बहुत ज्यादा दिक्कत देने वाला है। थोड़ा सा फिर से यहाँ पर लौट आएंगे, अंदर जाएंगे परफेक्ट। ज्यादा कर देने वाला है। थोड़ा सा फिर से यहाँ पर लौट आएंगे, अंदर जाएंगे पॉप ज्यादा कर देने वाला है। थोड़ा सा फिर से यहाँ पर लौट आएंगे, अंदर जाएंगे, पॉपअप दिक्कत देने वाला है थोड़ा सा। फिर से यहाँ पर लौट आएंगे, अंदर जाएंगे पॉपअप।
course, casting for Indian Gaming Corps.
Definitely one of my home grounds here, so I'm excited to see. And again, the teams are definitely energetic today. The first match of the day, you have seen a clean sweep, so why not? This match is definitely going to be the no same, and I'm excited. What about you, Jinx?
I'm excited too. Looks like both Peachy and me are doing a comeback right now, right? Peachy, I
Yes.
mean, it's been a while. It's been a while, but we are back, and I'm excited to see a few what these teams are up to, right? The new
Mhm.
strategies, the new gameplays. I'm just so excited right now.
Yep, definitely, Jinx. I'm really happy to be between two ladies, two really beautiful ones. But yeah, jokes aside, the on the blue side is gonna be Venom, Vox X Venom, and on the red side is gonna be Experiment Five. Both of these teams are, of course, well known for a lot of, and I'm really looking forward how they can perform. But I'm really curious to actually see the lineup of Experiment Five because they experiment a lot, just like their name says. And Peachy, you're of course well acquainted with both. Oh, what are your expectations for tonight? This is a best of three wildcard stage match.
Definitely. There's no going back once you lose the match. So, yep, that's going to be an interesting match. Now, I did see something that Experiment 5 has a completely new lineup. So, I'm not sure about that. But again, Venom, they do have potential. With Momo, okay, I do remember seeing him in quite a few tournaments recently. That's going to be a bomb for sure.
And you, Jix?
Yeah, true. I am seeing a few familiar faces, but I do have to say there are a lot of new incoming players, right? So I'm excited to see what they have in store for us. But looks like they already have a game plan set up. Look at that. The Kimmy gets banned out as well as the Fanny. So are they targeting someone from the side of Team Venom?
Possibly, because one thing about that, both of the teams are quite well versed about how the tournament goes around, and they know what kind of gameplay that they might bring around. But,
Mm,
Experiment 5, we know it's kind of a new lineup that we are talking about, so we might not be quite familiar with it, but at the same time, it's just Venom, they tend to go
mhm,
around comfortable zone.
mhm. I had a pleasure of meeting Super M in a LAN tournament like recently.
Oh.
I mean, he always comes in the LAN tournament, so it's always nice to see him. So shout out to him. But let's see how he does with this lineup. Of course, I mean, in the LAN tournament, of course, he has to play with the locality players. But Experiment Five, of course, they're built with players from different regions, and I'm really looking forward to what they can bring to the table so far. A lot of, I feel like there's been a few respect bans rather than the meta. Yes, Kimi is meta, but I feel like it's really paying respect to the gold laner for the hands of Experiment 5. But let's just see how it goes. And Jinx, you've been playing lately, right? So into the meta, what do you think should be the priority for the hands of Venom since looking at the ban so far?
You know, I think the meta stayed pretty much the same since the last time I've been here. It's definitely, the Gatot you want to prioritize, maybe prioritize your favorite hero, right? The Zushin as well. But no, speaking of the Zushin, they ban it out immediately. Looks like
Of
they're listening
course.
to us here, Ray. And since you were talking about Super M, he was one of the familiar faces. I sort of remember him
Hmm.
from the scene a while back. So I
Yeah.
think we're going to see some high level gameplay coming in because, like you said, he's experienced in that land phase of those tournaments. So we might see
Hmm.
something exciting. Now, third ban for the side of Team Experiment 5. What do you guys think they're going to ban out? I sort of hope they ban out those prio, like the Guthoot, maybe Lucas, maybe even the Joy.
What do you think, Peachy?
Oh, I did. Jinx did mention that Super M is one of the known names. Let me jog your memory, Jinx. Celsius Esports. Do you remember that team?
Sort of, sort of.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
I believe he was the leader for that team, and he's from there. So that I think that team transcended to another team. They have been playing, but again, I think from there, this is again another team name. So here we are, and I was hoping for a fighter to be getting banned, and that's what we got. Now, a kind of a flex getting banned, but at the same time, this is what I wanted: Kalia to be open and Kalia to be picked.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
Matilda's left
she
out open.
Yeah, Matilda gets picked up as well, but I have to agree with you there, Peachy. The Kalia, right? You can play her in the EXP, you can play her in the Roam, and she just, whoever she picks up is just gone. He's gonna get deleted instantly in those team fights.
Hmm.
You know,
And
no
Peachy,
picks are gonna. save that from the tsunami slam.
Actually, it does. Purify actually works. Yeah. Purify
It
works.
it
It does.
works,
Yeah,
but
it works.
but
It
people
works.
tend to pick up a a backup CC as well. Like once you get
Oh yeah, yeah. You're
knocked
right.
down
You're right
by
about that.
Kalia, there's going to be behind. There's going to be someone
Mhm.
coming up from behind. So I don't like Kalia for that reason.
I mean, she's overall a perfect deal for a roamer. She has heals, she has CC, she has a pickoff. Like she's like, if you're a like healer player, you can pick Kalia. If you're a pickoff player, you can pick Kalia. If you like CC, you can pick
Agree.
Kalia. She's all three packet, like really good option. But at the
Hmm.
same time, uh, I really love. I just wanted to point out. I really love the fact that Jinx called her Kalia because I feel like a lot of people just call her Kalia. But yeah, the official name is Kalia. But yeah, we'll call her
Talia.
Kalia, even though she's not that Kalia. But yeah, jokes aside, though, we are almost done with the first phase. Do you have any predictions, Jinx?
Yeah, I think they're gonna go for EXP. I'm sort of hoping they pick it up because with the Matilda you need a tanky EXP lane, or maybe the Gutout is still open, or maybe they want someone to lock down this Irithel, right? A great counter for this Granger. So maybe a Fovius coming in, or maybe even the glue, but do they wanna go down that route? But no, they pick up the hyper.
Yep,
But
that's here's the case.
I'm thinking about the bans, honestly. Like both of the sides have the jungler, have the roamer, have the gold lane, so it's really identical. So if they're gonna ban out EXP and mid lane, they're gonna be choking themselves out as well, both sides. So do you think they're just gonna commit to it, Peachy, or they're gonna go with like something else?
Hmm, maybe, maybe not because fighters are still open. The cutout cuts are yet open. The high laws also works very well with the Matilda. That slows coming up from the glorious pathway is going to help them. But at the same time, they do need tankiness because Momoke on that Hayabusa is going to be devastating for the back lane. They need to protect the back lanes, especially Cypher, who has to get his damage onto the battlefield.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I was saying, right? I would have preferred a EXP pick, but it's already done and dusted. They pick up the Suyu and they banned the Foyers themselves. Now, from the side of Team Venom here, they banned the Hilda, so they don't want any invasions coming in, do they?
Of course they don't want it. But I just feel like Hilda's presence is not that much right now into the meta, but I do understand, of course, Momoke on that Hayabusa is more vulnerable to Hilda, so it makes sense. But I feel like there are better options, but the better option already got banned out. But so far, Gatot and Hylos are still left out open. There's no Zushin, so they can contest for it. The mid laners are left out open, so you have the Farsa available. You also have what other contenders they can go for? Peachy, what do you think?
Eve really works out very well in this team composition. And they
For
need
the
the
hands
slow
of
as of
experiment?
now. Yes, experiment 5. They
Yeah,
need
yeah.
the slows. Now that you know that Kalia, the Hayabusa, as well as the Irithel are going to have some kind of mobility, they cannot pin down to a Farsa. They have to make sure they get enough mobility to actually match them. Suyu does have it correct. The Granger does have it. It's also very good. But at the same time, they need to pick up something to slow them down. Hylos still on the cards though. If Team Venom picks up the queue and bat it out, that's going to be a super bomb.
Yeah, that is true. Okay, now the bans are gutted, but I have to agree with you there, Peachy. They need a lockdown hero as a mage, right? You need someone to stop that Hayabusa from snowballing, and definitely you want someone to stop the Irithel and support the team because Granger is going to have a tough time against that Irithel. Now, fourth pick for the side of Team Experiment 5, I think they're going to go for that high dose like we were talking about, Peachy.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And hmm. Okay, they're gonna go for a high loss. It's a Pegasus combo. I've been like calling it from like previous year, because the horse is gonna be flying. But on the other hand, since they have the high loss already, I feel like Peachy, you might just be right. I think a Eve is a very possible contender into the hands of Experiment 5 right now. Looking at how it goes, the only issue is of course the Hayabusa, the only possible contender. But let's just see
Yes.
how the draft closes off right now because they're the last two picks from the hands of Venom right now.
Oh, it's going to be crucial. It's going to be something. We need that last pick to be the game changer pick. Okay. Now that we still have 15 seconds left, the Jawhead and the Chow, we kind of got some clues that it might be the Chow or the Jawhead, but Jawhead clocks it on. Now it's very good. But the front lane, they need a little bit of a kind of a front laner. They do have Kalia, correct? They do have it with the heals, with the CC. I don't think that just connects very well. Like in my mind, into the battlefield where we go, it doesn't connect for me.
Yeah, the problem with Venom right now, right? They don't have the tankiness, but they have that pick off potential
Yes.
right now with that Kalia as well as the Jawhead, right? You can just go in, pick one off, and then disengage. You don't want to prolong those team fights because you're not going to win them, especially with the Matilda as well as the Hylos providing that constant heal for his team. Look at the spell, right? He has the Revitalize as well. Now, last pick for the side of Team Experiment 5, I think the Eve would be good here. It's just that the positioning needs to be really good, right? Especially against the Irrital and the Hayabusa, might have a tough time. Or do they want to go for a much more mobile mage? They go for the
Oh.
Valentino.
Oh.
Copy. They just saw the Farsa and decided, yeah, it's ours right now. It's no longer your ultimate, it's our Federer strike.
Yes.
So we're going to be seeing bombing into the Land of Dawn from both ends. Other than that, there's honestly not many good ultimates, unless Valentina decides that Kalia's pick-off potential, the Tsunami Slam, is going to be looking really, really juicy. But let's just see. There's only two ultimates that she can copy, and I feel like they are very obvious. So let's just see how it works out. Both of the hands have one Naruto skin. It's Sasuke versus. Yeah,
His
it's gonna
wife.
be a funny one. Yeah, it's gonna
Yes.
be a
Sasuke
fun
versus
one.
his wife. Yeah. I think another reason
Wife
people
beater.
people don't like Kalia is because the Sakura skin. I mean, she's just universally hated.
Damn, I love pink hair though. Pink hair
Yeah,
is
me too.
nice. I love it. I love it. I'm the exception. But yeah, jokes aside, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna be diving straight into the first game of this second match of the evening between Vox X Venom versus Team Experiment 5, and it's going to be another best of three series. Let's see how it works out. And taking it over is, of course, you can clearly see left and right. I'm actually standing still for a. Why am I moving my hands? You cannot see, but I'm moving my hands like they're actually nearby me. But yeah, jokes aside, it's going to be Jinx and Peachy taking it over as soon as the game. And there we go. Jinx and Peachy, take it over.
Let's go into the light of dawn, the first match you guys are witnessing. Audience, I really want to know your predictions. I want to know who had the better draft as of now. Gameplay wise, you might have seen them a lot during the different tournaments across this few months. But again, I would love to hear about that. And on to the other hand, look at Super IMM, his positioning. He's just making sure that the information will be laid out for his team.
That is true. He's doing a lot of, uh, you know, supporting his team completely, and they do look to be, zoning out the Jawhead, especially over there. But I do have to say, right, this is like a pick-off composition versus a front-to-end composition that they have working out for X-Men 5. So hopefully, the side of Team Venom plays those team fights properly, right? Don't engage too
Yes.
much, don't commit too much. You want to disengage just in time and then you have the chance because like you were saying, PG, they don't have that front line to tank that damage.
Mm. And both of the teams do have a different kind of team composition, and that's what makes it quite exciting today. One team overly with the team fight potential, and another just with the pickoffs. Let's see who will be the first blood. Now, a little bit of a zoning out. Looks like Across will be zoned out right there. He has to make sure that he doesn't loses his flicker just under that's 2 minutes.
That is true. Now the Jawhead might just be caught in a tough situation, but he does use his ejector onto the Valentina, and then that flicker is removed. Right? Uh, it's not
Yep.
going to be there during that term of that turtle, so it's going to be pretty tough for Valentina to engage in those team fights. It looks like a free turtle to the side of team um,
Experiment
Experiment 5.
failed. Oh, I did notice that the Hayabusa did have his retribution. And okay,
Ooh.
look at that. Quite a good escape for that Momo. Okay, picks up the turtle. Another kill going down. 1 for 1 for both of these teams. Oh, they are not stopping here. Looks like the ejector play would be coming out with the unstoppable force. Two members already picked off for one. And this is where Venom is going to shine. And okay, wait a minute. Soya tries to goes in, tries to, try to not, take them back to the base. He did work there, but he needed some kind of a backup.
So I mean, they did really great, right? I actually thought it was going to be a free total for Experiment 5, but they were a bit slow in taking that down, and then the whole team came in. Haya stole that turtle pretty easily with that retribution, and then they won those team fights as well. Especially since Valentina didn't have the flicker, not much she could have done. Now, I do have to say the Jawhead being very gangster.
That's true. Jawhead already in position. Look at him. He's just like already ready for everything. He does have it, but Soya, on to the other hand, picks up the Farsa's feather airstrike. Now this is one of the ultimate that she can pick up, and it's like the topmost priority, and the other four doesn't matter. So I don't believe that she does have much of an option to pick up. But oh, wait a minute, look at that. They're flying away with the Matilda's ultimate and Federer strike coming in a very safe position. A-Cross picks up Super IMN, moving back. Looks like a Mancer would be coming at the right time. And that is a 2 for 0. Another kill going down, another trade going down into the hands of Team Venom.
Yeah, the second team fight, the side of Team Venom is winning now. I don't think that Matilda Airlines is working out for them, right? Because this Jawhead is just stopping her every time, and this Hayabusa is
Oh,
doing everything that he can.
oh,
Now he takes down the Granger. No, so close, so close. I mean, it could have been a 50-50, right? Either of one of them would
yes.
have died.
Though the confidence, though, like he's low. If I was in that situation, I would be panicking so hard. I knew, like, but he does have the confidence to go in. But this just hindered the turtle and another turtle going down into the answer team's experiment fight. For them, this would be the first, but I believe this could be a boost for them. They needed this turtle, they had to get it anyhow, but they picked it up right on cue. Just when it spawned, they just not did not waste any time. But moving all together, I believe they are just trying to pick off Irithel as of now, who is just super farmed with the gold shield already down into her hands.
Mm-hmm. That is true, but Jawhead giving a lot of vision to Irithel, right? It's like, yeah, just take the turret. It's fine. I'm here. I got you. Don't worry about it. And
Yeah.
it backs off just in time. It does feel like X-Men 5 is having a bit of tough time catching those heroes off guard, and it's probably all because of the Jawhead. I mean, he's giving so much vision to his team.
That's true. It looks like
Ooh.
sees a crowd control coming in for the Valentina has to escape back, but Super IMM, we were worried about. Oh, wait a minute, Kayla Thompson picks up ego. Tsunami slam coming right on point. That's like three members onto him, but the guiding wins already on time. But Momoke though, he just made that window of opportunity and just lost it in just a second. And Jinx, we were worried about how Team Venom would be, not having that front laner, but because of
Mm-hmm.
this pick of composition, the early game is really smooth for them.
Yeah, I mean, I think the team fights that are coming in from their side is just extremely good. Now, once again, Kalia goes in and they manage to get the kill on the Valentina. I do have to say that pick probably is not working out for them, right? Because, like we are talking about, she doesn't have much ultimates to steal away, and that Fasha ultimate is not going to work because the Hayabusa is there on the other side.
That's true. Look at them. Now another turtle coming down under 15 seconds. Looks like Team Experiment 5. They are trying to gather around along with Team Venom. But I believe they will be having a greater presence with the river area control as of now, given the fact that it is the gangster who's just zoning them out. Oh man, sir, he knew that. He knew that there someone is there onto the bush. That U-turn came in quite quickly. But oh, Super IMM once again with the Matilda Airlines pushing it down a little bit of the glorious pathway. It looks like the EXP laners are right on point for a 5v5 situation. Grateful Dog picks up Ego. That means they're going to be an easy load for the side of Team Venom. But wait a minute. Well, Momo, okay, with the ultimate comes in, but he will be taken down. The ungodly stun coming in from the Mancer would be pinning him to the death.
Yeah, I think that was a much needed shutdown on the Hayabusa. They needed that shutdown, right? But they're going to lose out this turtle. Maybe exchange that with that bot lane inhibitor now. The Silent Team Experiment fight definitely needs to use that team fight to their advantage because they have a team fight composition, right? But they are getting picked off one by one. The
Yes.
Even with the purifies, it's not working out for them. And sadly, they don't have enough damage
Damage
for
for
this
the
team fight. So it's
team.
sort of a lose-lose situation with Jawhead, like I was talking about. Oh, this time it's gonna cost him.
Yeah, that's not the way he's supposed to go around. After the purple buff, he should have just moved back, try to make sure that his teammates would have resources to actually get a contest on, given the fact like, oh, wait a minute, the two-man knockup fight comes in for from the scale. Yeah, Tsunami Slam right on point. Looks like there's a
Woo!
toss and toss for the Soya. That's so much for a mate to take in, but at the same time, Irithel dealing damage. Now it's gonna get scary though. It's Irithel you're talking about.
Yeah, that is true, and there's really no one to lock down the Earther, right? So she's just gonna be running in circles around you towards the late game. Few mistakes happening here and there, but that Valentina stealing away that Kelia's ultimate and then using it, I think it was just unnecessary, right? You're already underfarmed. You're at a
Yeah.
4K a disadvantage. Maybe don't go in for those team fights, but look at that 1v1 happening with that Hayabusa as well as the Suyu. The Suyu gets the advantage and they're trying to top down the top lane inhibitor, but they lose out that bottom lane instead.
Oh, so like in that 1v1 situation, that won't be a very good option for a Hayabusa. You know that
Uh-huh.
Suyu does have
You
the
can just
immunity.
remain. Yeah.
Yep, he does have it, but at the same time, Kalia getting zoned out, getting chip damage on. Like she's just looking forward to heal herself. But wait a minute, what is it going to be? What are the decisions are they going to make? Because they do have resources, but they don't have members. They don't have enough members as of now. Oh,
That
Feather
is
Edge, right?
true.
Oh,
Just
two feather airstrikes. Oh my god, that looks majestic.
Yeah, I mean, I would prefer that instead of the Kelia's ultimate getting stolen, right? But that
Yes.
was just a zoning out. They wanted that inhibitor. They were just zoning out, and Fastest ultimate comes back pretty soon, so they literally expended no resources in getting that turret. Now, first lord of the game is up. Thankfully, the Seraph Team Experiment 5 have managed to defend their inhibitors. That shield is still open, so they can defend this first lord pretty easily.
Defense won't be a problem for both of the teams. They know how to go about it. But as of now, we are talking about Team Venom having the highest gold plus kills as well. They
Hmm.
can actually pick down. Like even one member jumps in at the back lane, especially the Hayabusa, and if he manages to get right on point, like let's just say that the Matilda and the Hylos are not around and they just catch Soya or maybe the Cypher, it's just game over. The Lord's just going to march down towards those inhibitors and they have to make sure to get their lane clearance out quickly.
Good job,
1v
yeah.
Yup, well, oh, gangster though, too much damage. This is where the Team Venom's going to have problem. That one-man pick of composition works early game, very good, mid lane, very good. But when it comes to during the late game, like we are still into the mid game, yes, but when it comes to the like those late phases, it's going to be a
Hmm.
problem for them as we are seeing now.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about it. They are not going to win those team fights, right? You need to be pretty careful. Sadly, Jawhead being a bit too gangster now. Look at that. We
Yeah.
do see Suya Suya defending that inhibitor, lot marching down the bottom lane, but they lose out all the tier 2 inhibitors very, very quickly. They do manage to have a defense, but is this the time they want to take a fight because the Hayabusa is just going
Yeah.
in?
Yep, this is what I was talking about. Hayabusa with the damage did get Soya right on point, but they did have the members to soak up the extra damage coming in
Hmm.
from this Hayabusa. But let's see if they're able to get it or not. But one inhibitor blown off, that is, it is a very good thing because level 1 Lord and one inhibitor already gone. That means the lane pressure will be there.
Yeah, it's very, very good for the side of Team Venom, right? Not that good for Experiment 5. I thought they would be able to defend it because the shield was there, but sadly they weren't able to do that now. The side of Team Venom definitely need to play it a bit safe. Don't go for those unnecessary fights like the Jawhead has been doing, right? He's being very gangster. They all are in that one bush, and if Jawhead gets caught out, it's going to be very, very tough. But look at that on the team fight starting your PG.
Oh, yeah, with the Federer striking into the very
Oh,
comfortable position, but looks like Kalia has more into her hands. They're just going on and on and on. Three members already down. Momoke jumps in with the ultimate. Look at that. Perfect engage coming on down from Team Owen. Now I believe they can close it down though. With four members already blown off, they just have like 10 seconds, but the minions are cleared off.
yeah, but there's another wave coming in. Can Granger defend this? I don't think he can.
Oh,
The
Granger.
Valentina's gonna be back, but she does not have much lane clear, right?
Oh,
Uh, the
sad thing.
Yeah, that was sad. Kind of close. Granger tried his best. Now, I think the one mistake they did towards the last time is, you have a Hylos in your team. I would expect the Hylos to check the bushes, but then it was the
Yes.
Matilda going in, checking those bushes. She gets caught out, and then they fully committed on that team fight. But the team fight composition that they have is like a brute force, right? You just want to just dive
Yes.
in and hope for the best. But it didn't work out, right? They literally got the worst of out of that team fight, and it was just a wipeout. Granger, sadly, does not have the lane clear that's going to help them clear out so many minions.
True, and with us back again, Ray. Welcome back. How was the match?
It was honestly, I feel like at first it was a very into the hands of Venom already, but it slowly shifted. But I mean, I feel like it wasn't that close, right? But interesting
Yeah.
game overall. But it's still game number one. Honestly, it's a best of three series, and Experiment Five as well as Venom, both of them being players who are quite veterans, I would say. Yes, they have different lineups, but quite different. Sorry, what am I saying? I mean, like they're both veterans, even if they have different lineups right now. They definitely have the chance to show themselves, and I'm really looking forward to if Experiment Five can make a comeback. I mean, I really love to see a game number three, right? But let's see. Maybe it might be another another clean sweep tonight. But let's see what
Yeah.
we have in store for us, and I'll just confirm it with the production if we're gonna be seeing a break or we'll just go into game number two. So do let us know. Until then. Okay, looks like I just confirmed with the production. It's not going to be a break. We're just going to move swiftly into the game number two between Experiment 5 and, of course, Vox as Venom. And this time around, okay, Peachy. I think I'm talking in circles. Why don't you deliver the?
Happens. Happens. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, so I think we're gonna I think we're gonna take a break and we're gonna be back with game number two. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for game number two between Venom and Team Experiment 5. Stay tuned. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to be diving straight back into the game number 2 of match number 2, which is, of course, between Vox as Venom versus Experiment 5. The first match already been taken quite dominantly by Venom. Let's see if they can also clean sweep, just like the previous match, which was Ryuga versus Paris. So let's see what this match have in store for us. But we're already moving into the draft phase. But of course, I have to introduce our lovely, beautiful casters back again. It's Peachy and Jinx. So Peachy. Like
Hello.
you casted for the previous game along with Jinx. Do you think
Yeah.
Experiment 5 stands a chance this time around, or Venom will just prove to be a little bit too overwhelming for them?
In the first game, yes, they were. The overwhelming part fits right in for the side of Team Venom. Though they picked up a single man pick off composition, they planned it out very well for the late game as well. I really liked about how they played around that. But this time around, Experiment 5, they have to up their draft. They have to come up with new strategies. They have to make sure that they can pick off each the members and they can close the gold gap even if they manage to create it. So yes, this is another going to be another interesting game.
Mm-hmm. It
My
is.
tail's been
Hopefully,
itching
we
for a
do see a
real
best of
fight. Is
three, right?
banning.
Now all the second match of the evening, and I think the side of Team Experiment 5 missed out the first ban. Am I correct, right?
Hmm? Yep, you're correct.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because drafts are very important, right? You want to ban up the heroes whenever you can. It's gonna be tough. But hopefully they do come back
Sir,
with this. They
what's
have
your
a plan. They
command?
ban the
Your
Fanny once
team is
again.
banning.
Um, that was the same ban we saw the first time around here, Trey.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe a connection issue, but we can't really do anything about that. No redrafts, ladies and gentlemen, of course. And because of it's unfortunate, but I think Experiment 5, they can make around but yeah, having the first pick, it does have lesser consequences. I'm gonna be honest. It does have lesser consequences for a simple reason: more heroes left out open for you to pick up. But at the same time, second pick also will get 2 heroes for themselves. So let's see what it makes of it. Pichi, what do you think? One ban miss out, it's gonna be a massive deal, or
Your
it's gonna
team
be
is
something they
banning.
can shrug off their shoulders?
They might be able to shrug it off their shoulders, you know. One thing about it, if they manage to pick up something of a hero that can snowball, they might get it. They might turn their tides for themselves. So I want to see how they will be going around because one ban missed out. That means it could have been the Kalia, it could have been something that you don't want to be looking around. Maybe that Hayabusa from the last game because it was truly devastating that how he was there at the back lanes. He did connected out very well with his shadow. So, yep, what is it going to be? One last ban from Experiment 5.
Yeah, I
Last
mean,
ban.
yeah, if it was me, I think like you're
Always
talking
on the
about, I
way.
think I would ban up
Your
the.
team
I
is
was gonna say
banning.
Matilda or the Hayabusa, but it's good that they banned the Matilda because she just gives so much prior to your team. I mean, with those dashes, you're gonna be in and out in those team fights. Sadly, it did not work out for them in the first game, but they don't want to risk giving it away to the side of Team Venom. So there you go, the Matilda ban coming in. But like even though they missed out their first ban, they can just pick up the
Mhm.
Hayabusa for themselves, right? Maybe prio pick it, and then you have a good chance to get pick off that back lane.
Zarur, zarur. Why did I just say fucking? Oh my god! Why did I say Hindi? For some reason, I don't know. For some reason, my tongue slipped. Sorry. Apologies. But yeah, uh, I mean, of course. Oh my god,
Butterflies
that was
blow
embarrassing. But yeah,
my
jokes
way.
aside,
Your
the
team
Zushin is gonna be
guided
banned out.
by lantern
Then there's a
flight.
lot of contenders still left out open. Let's see what Experiment 5 is going to experiment this time around. I love that they named it 5, meaning they don't have any substitutes. Or they could have named it 7. But yeah, I just a nitpick I lost. I mean, they could have named it Experiment 7. I feel like
I
that would
know,
have been
right?
nice. Yeah, they would have included their managers or coach or maybe their substitutes, right? But looks like they just want to be a 5-man team. A really solid lineup, but let's just see. Super M, are they gonna go with something beefy, something flexible? And looks like I might be right. What do you think, BG?
Yep, Barang fits in right at its place. One of the picks. I feel like he's going to be in the meta for a very very long time. It's been few months already, and he works out very well during those team fight compositions. He gives out quite a good utility, and I really love that about a Barang. But at the same time, that Thunderbelt on him is truly annoying.
Mm-hmm. It is actually the CC he provides in those team fights. If you combo him with a really good a mage or a MM like a Fasha, right? You're gonna do a wombo combo in those team fights and just melt some of those squishies down. So I have to agree with you there, Peachy. But they have left a lot of heroes open here, right? What is the side of Team Venom going to be picking up? They pick up the Kimmy almost immediately. Now there's a very few heroes that counter the Kimi, and some of those are those assassins, maybe the Ling, the Hayabusa, maybe even the Joy, and they definitely need assassins this time around for the side of team Experiment 5.
Again, the Hayabusa and Kimi as well this time around. And I feel like it's going to be mid lane Kimi. I love mid lane Kimi. I love
Hmm.
playing Kimi in the mid lane. I feel like she's so much better, especially the recent patch note. Actually, when she was revamped, she was supposed to have 70% slow, but for some reason there was a glitch. It did not happen, but recently it has been fixed and it's 75% slow. Let me tell you, it's absolutely nasty because, especially for heroes that do not have a dash to move around from that position, it's basically a flicker wasted or a spell completely wasted out. Kimi has a 20-second cooldown on ultimate, and you're wasting a 100-second spell for it. Imagine the value that it brings, especially if you're targeting. Of course, it's an AoE skill. It pulls you in, and I feel like Kimi is just absolutely nasty in the mid lane because of it. And I feel like not a lot of people understand the potential, but I think Venom they have, and I'm really looking forward to how it works out. But Bejo Hunter again going for the Gatot Kacha. So Peachy, we're seeing a few similar picks here and there. With the
Yes.
inclusion of Badang this time around, do you think tables are going to change? Because one plus thing about Badang is that he's immune to Jawhead. If this time around Venom again tries to go for the Jawhead, then the Badang will make sure he gets punished.
There's very less chance that they might go with a Jawhead, given the fact that we are looking at a Gatot Kacha. Gatot Kacha maybe onto the EXP lane, very flex picks. I really love about that. Both of the teams have really worked around their flex picks. So if the Gatot Kacha is pushed to the EXP lane, I want to see something of a healer kind of a composition. I want to, like, since the Florine is already banned, Matilda is already banned. Estes is definitely not on the cards. It's like a pick. You can play, you can make a play out of it, but it's very risky.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there, Peachy. I mean, I was hoping for a Florin pick from the side of team Venom here themselves, right? But they
Yes.
banned it out. But I mean, I don't think they needed to ban it out. They could have picked it, but they have a different thought in their mind, so they banned it out instead. Now last ban for the side of team Experiment here, they banned out the four ways. Um, but I was looking forward to that Badang Fasha combo, but against the Hayabusa, don't you think it's a bit risky? And the Gato.
Hmm. You know, I actually agree with you, Jinx. The Florin would have been much better, but maybe they have a plan with it. Maybe they already have a selected draft that they want to go for. I would love a Mia because of the recent Starlight skin. She looks like hot in the sense like the skin is like really flamey, blazing. Of course, I don't mean the other one, but yeah, jokes aside though, let's
You
see
know,
if they can.
it,
Yeah, Peachy.
about that skin, it fits
She
her
looks
theme
like
so well.
yeah, she looks like Genshin's the
Yes,
fire archon, right? I mean
Damn,
the skin. Yeah.
Molnika.
Genshin references here, and there's Cypher here as well. HSR.
Yeah.
I need the cat girl, but yeah, it looks like this time around, Experiment 5 are the ones who are gonna be picking up the Jawhead. Let's see how well it works out because I feel like their composition it's a little 50-50. They have Initiator as a Batang, but they also want to go for the Jawhead, which is a pick off. They also have Farsa, which is zone out. So I feel like it's like a mix of a lot of ingredients, and I'm really seeing if it's gonna cook or if it's gonna be a spoiled one. Let's see what Cypher closes up the draft, because the marksman is still yet to be revealed from the hands of Venom. Okay, they lock in. Okay, there's a Granger. Cypher comes in again, but I'm really curious, how do they close it off? Moskov is banned out, so there's no SOD businesses. What do you think, Peachy? Okay, Harris, solid one.
Oh, before like I jump into like I believe Harrod's gonna get locked, but before that, I wanna like note, I wanna mention that the Florin and the Phobius ban is very very dicey. It's like they shouldn't have banned the Phobius. They could have picked it up for themselves. They should have made a thought process of how the Gatotkacha could be a flex, but even if he is, there should be someone who can soak up damage and can give that same amount of damage that the Gatotkacha can do. So, but that's not how Experiment 5 are going around. They banned it off. Same with the side of Team Venom as well. They went with the Fluorine ban. They could have picked it up for themselves. It would have played it out very well for them.
Yeah, I think Experiment 5 is experimenting, right? I mean, it just the draft seems a bit all over the place. We're going to see a Badang EXP, a Jawhead Roam, and how well it works out for them. Hopefully, it works out well, but it looks really risky against such a team comp of Venom, right? The Gato,
Mhm.
the Hayabusa, and the Harit. Now, once again, they don't have any lockdown heroes. Badang, if he does well, it's going to be good, but if he misses, then that whole team fight is going to go down in a bad way.
Absolutely right, Jinx. And we're going to be figuring out into this game number 2. Of course, the second match of the evening. This is between Venom and Experiment 5. Let's see if Experiment 5's experiments are going to work, or there's a little bit too much Venom for them to take in. And it's going to be an interesting one. Of course, your casters here are Peachy and Jinx, two beautiful ladies, and I'm going to be taking a back seat for the game, of course, as both of these teams are duke it out. So Peachy and Jinx take it over. Game number 2. Let's see if this is going to be a clean sweep.
Let's go into the land of Dawn. Here we are again, ladies and gentlemen. Second match, Venom or Experiment 5. What are your thoughts? I would love to know about that. But again, this time, look at that. But onto the side of Team Experiment 5, they have been playing it quite aggressively. They just want to make sure they get those creeps out in their hands and hindering the Suyu's farm. But Ego, will he be able to recover from that?
Yeah, I mean that composition, right? The Gato, the Kimi, as well as the Hilda, they do seem to be in a bit of trouble, but Gato being very, very tanky, and instead Jawhead gets taken down. Badang is next, Kimi's after him.
Okay, first blood coming in. We got it, but at the same time, there would be the side of Team Venom moving forward and forward. They got their initial 2 kills onto their hands, but following up, Experiment 5 did the same. But Kemi looking quite low though. Soya doesn't have the kills, and Super IMM comes in at the right time. They are just making sure they get the snowball.
Yeah, that is true. They, after getting that first win, I think they're a bit confident. They're going in for those invasions. Sadly, it didn't work out in their favor completely. They gave away a kill to Suyu, but they also got him taken down, right? So it was sort of an equal trade on both sides, especially that, except that Kimi kill in the middle, right? She probably could have recalled, and now she's probably not going to get that level 4 just in time for that turtle. Now, like we're talking about, right? The composition on the side of Team Venom is just better, I have to say. Side of Team Experiment 5 have to play it very, very safe. They don't have the sustain, and they also don't have that team fight capability.
I agree, but the Ego picks the turtle for himself. Looks like Team Experiment 5, they are getting those upper hand. I really love how they're just pushing it down, matching the energy from for the side of Team Venom as well. But at the same time, the power spike for the side of Team Experiment 5, mid game to the late game. Mid game is going to be quite crucial for them. That is going to be setting the pace, how they will be working around. But wait a minute, for the dice strike coming in, Gangster will be going back to the base. And this way around, it's just diffused. Look at that. Experiment 5 don't want to fight.
Yeah, I mean, they have to go for those pickoffs, right? Those team fights, they're not going to be able to sustain them. So, definitely good thinking here. Just pick off the Gatot before he gets his items. He's a bit squishy. 3 people from your side can take it down. And that's what the side of Team X5 is doing right now. Now Gatot is back in the game, but it's going to be a skirmish in mid lane. Jawhead once again ejects that
Oh,
Gatot. HOG wasted.
this is, one of the thing like Gatot Kacha has it in his kit that it is for the backlinks. Now, if you use it defensively, you lose its value, and with that, taunts coming in as well as the Cypher picks up a kill into the backlinks. You look at Biju Hunter dealing so much damage, but that will be unfortunately Soya has to go back. The team experiment fight, they are not pushing down as much as team fights they can, because once they run out of the resources, they are just being very mindful about that.
Yeah, they're just waiting for that one
Oh,
ejector, and he threw in the Hayabusa Momo, but Momo retreats just in time with that quad shadow. Now, they are playing it extremely smart, right? The side of Team Experiment 5. Not no prolonged team fight, but another team fight happening. You can see.
yeah, the Mancer will be taken down. Grateful Dog would be getting the kills. Now I'm truly scared about how Airtel is getting more kills and kills. That will be the double kill picked up. They just don't want to go in for more, so but they just want to steal away as much as resources. Ego trying to slither his way around those river area, but he's not able to. Easy turtle for the side of Team Venom.
Yeah. Um, if the Jawhead gets caught out instead of catching someone out, it's they're not gonna win that team fight, right? Like, especially because of Hilda, she's gonna be jumping on to the Fasha, and then there's no one who can really protect her in those fights. So it's gonna be tough for them. Maybe the side of Team Experiment 5 just wants to play it a bit safe. Maybe they want to focus in on this Irithel, right? Because the first game we saw how well she played, she was just untargetable throughout the whole game, and it just seems like it's happening once again. There's really no one who can lock her down.
Oh, agreed, agreed. Look at that Mansa once again trying to, slither his way into the back lanes, but he's not able to get to across as of now. But at the same time, Gangster, look at his rotation. He's at the top. He's just going to make sure that the Earthel will be farmed. They are just going to wait a minute. Manser, not looking good, comes in with the ejector. Oh my god, a nice ejector coming in, but at the same time, that was the wrong target. A Grateful Dog jumps into the team fight, but no, I believe that's Team Experiment Fire trying to play it out, and they don't have the tank though. They don't have the tank, so I don't think they can make a play out of it.
Yeah, they can't. Now, the self team Venom, they're doing a classic 4-1 rotation, right? The Guttoad, he's not going to be pushing down those lanes, so he goes into those team fights and lets Haya clear the lane, get the farm in, and then join the team fight a bit late. But it seems like the rotations from the side of Team Experiment 5 is a bit slow compared to the side of Team Venom, right? Jawhead had a really good ejector back then. If his team was there, might have gotten the kill, but his team was very slow on that rotation. Now, look at that. They're going to. This is what I was talking about. Look at that. Hayabusa in the top lane and then four of them in the bot. So it's going to be just impossible to catch the Russell and the Kimi.
That's true, that's true. Now, as of now, the Suyu is getting zoomed out very, very well by the side of Team Venom. Look at that! Once again, Biju Hunter making sure that it just hinders the farm for this Suyu. It does get scarier for your enemies when the Suyu has a snowball. Suyu has done his fair share of kills and assists, so again, that's going to be quite a little bit of a problem once he is on the higher scale of kills. So I think they're just trying to shut him down right there.
Yeah, it's going to be a 5v4 turtle fight coming in. Hayabusa gets it pretty easily now. Granger on the top trying to push down, but Jawhead gets caught out once again.
That's very, very bad. Coming in from Manser, how he's tanking so much. But quite a few resources have been plopped down right here. Coming in from Soya, Manser, as well as Super IMM. They all lost their flickers, their one AOG. This is the power that AOG holds, and I really love that about the Katukata. Super IMM gets the taunt on. Gangster, a little bit, trying to run away. But no, Super IMM tries to make a play. He has to go back. That will be the 8 cross, as well as Grateful Jack. So much damage. Look at them trying to go in for more. Ego immobilize that, he will be taken down. Now Feather Air Strike comes in at the right moment, and but that's just the Gatukasa going down. Where's the value? Where's the maid going down? Where's the marksman going down? And that is just happening for the side of Team Experiment 5. Look at them moving back onto the base with the countdown one by one. That's like a bowling pin as of now.
Yeah, they're just getting wrecked right now. Uh, the experiment that they were trying out didn't is not working out for them, right? They're not able to sustain those team fights. They're getting taken down back to back. The only way they can win right now is if Badang gets that ultimate in, and he does. But oh my god, that's a double kill. They definitely needed that right there.
Yes, yes, and especially the shutdown goal from Grateful Dog. He look at that 5 kills already, and that is his first death. That's going to be a pretty bomb. Now coming again, look at them. Biju enter onto the mid lane. There will be oh no, Ejector comes in quite well. The walls at the right place, but the AOG will be displacing them, but they have to get the back. Momo okay has to jump in. Biju enter looking quite low. Ego picks up the kill. Feather Dash Strike coming right on the point. That will be the damage breaker right there. But Momoke gets stunned, airborne, and will be taken down. What a way to kill a Hayabusa. What a way to stop that Hayabusa to coming in.
Yeah, just amazing. Just in time for the Lord. They're gonna get it free of cost here. They were sort of losing the plot from early to mid game, and they suddenly got it back, right? It was like win loss in those team fights, and now they have a chance to definitely push down a few inhibitors. I don't think they're going to be able to end the game, but they might be able to get all the tier 2 inhibitors gone now. Now Super M in a very bad position. What he needs to do is what he did earlier, right? Catch the Kimmy, catch the Hirutel, because only he can make those plays right now. The Jawhead is sort of like a win-loss situation, but if the Badang gets in a good ultimate, I think it's going to be GG because the Fasha definitely has the damage.
I do agree with you right there. He does have the damage. Look at that. But at the same time, this would be into the hands of Team Experiment 5. They secured the lot for themselves. They got it. But now it just moved down. Oh my god, another good ejector coming in. Gangster will be taken down. That means no AOG coming in, no displacement coming in. And this is a time that they can win. But Kimmy gets right on point. Ego, Cypher, all low. Mansell looking quite low as well. Super MM, I don't believe he's going to be walking out alive. And he goes back. But Bomo, okay. He has to come up. Wait a minute, look at him. His positioning. He knows that they are low and just jumps in. But wait a minute. He shadow kill right on point. But the ejector and Cypher with his damage. Nice one.
Yeah, really good by Jawhead as well as the Badang, right? They're literally carrying the team on their backs. But sadly, that was a lot wasted. Now in the mid lane, if they had just disengaged after capturing the Gatot, I think they would have, utilized the Lord much better instead of going into those prolonged team fights, which they're never going to win. Now, Kimi with that amazing ultimate. Now look at that, Hilda stuck between 3 people, but is she going to get taken down?
No. Ersa will be taken down. That would be another man going down. Looks like the Hilda has to go as well. That's a 1-for-1 trade. But one thing about both of the sides is really like, one kills is happening, another kill is going down onto their own hands. 15 for 15. That's what I really like.
Yeah, they're a bit even on the playing field. It's just how they utilize it. Now, Suyu alone here, maybe he wants to retreat. Kimmy's ultimate is used up. I do have to say, Experiment 5 did an extremely good job defending. Now, that Kimmy's ultimate is going to play a big role in those team fights. Once again, Lord coming up in 40 seconds. We have to wait and see what is Experiment 5's plan, because as of now, I think they're totally targeting that Gato.
Yep, that's true. They're just getting the Garukat away out of the way because they know that AOG is going to cost them a lot, because few of the team fights it did. But as of now, that's a 1-for-1 trade. An EXP laner for a tank. That is huge. They do have damage, talking about Team Experiment 5, but Venom, they need the Gatot Kacha. Without the Gatot Kacha, it is not complete for them.
Yeah, that is true. Now, they get the Gatot so that he does not cause those problems in the team fights with that AOG, right? On that Fasha, on the Granger. So, no wonder they're doing that now. Lord is up. We're going to see them do a bit of skirmish. Now, Fasha getting caught out at the missed position. She has to use that link segment and escape. But Lord secures back to you.
Oh, wait a minute. Look at that. They're just trying to go in and around. And now that the Lord has already gone down into the hands of Team Experiment 5 once again, they do have to take down few of the second tier turrets, but I believe they're quite slow on that push. They're just
Mm-hmm.
like letting the Lord go. They're not having a split push as well. They're not having the lane sync as well. This is what I was talking about. Lord already gone. Oh, immobilization coming in from the crow of Across, but the Mancer in solo taken down. No, re-engage coming in from both the sides, but the lanes have to be managed. I really love how the Team Venom have a very good lane management.
I feel like they're just losing that goal lead that they had. They're getting the Lord, which is good, but they're not utilizing it whatsoever. Now, AHG, once again, a team fight through, you get caught out, then it's a good time to disengage.
Oh, that's true, that's true. But Super IMM, what a good catch up. But oh no, Team Experiment 5, they have to. They just vanished. The minions are
Yeah.
pouring in. Just the one cannon minion. What are they going to do? Mancer does get Momo. Okay, double kill already on his sleeve. But Grateful Dog, he picks up the kill. Members are not coming online. And there we go. Another clean sweep coming in.
Yeah, I mean
Victory!
they lost the plot, right? Two lords, sadly they could not utilize it whatsoever. No push coming in from their side, right? Before the lord was even crossing their side of the map, it was getting taken down by the Rithel. It was just a GG. Now we have Ray back on us with the death. Ray, what did you think?
I just loved your guys casting. That's what I think.
Oh,
I mean,
thank you.
I mean, you guys are back after quite a while. I've been really active into the scene, but you guys have been. I mean, you guys are making a comeback right now. And talking about comeback, it was a really banger one. I really loved your guys casting, but overall, this match was also, what can I say? I feel like, I just love the fact that the score was 17-17 for in a few seconds. Other than that, I feel like a lot of it went. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just a few mistaken. Which side was which? Because I feel like I'm a little confused. Who won it out at the end?
Oh, okay. Looks like Venom won the game.
Okay, it's a clean sweep.
Yep,
It's a
they
clean
had a
sweep.
very good. What do you
Okay,
say?
okay.
It's always at the last moment. Experiment 5 has a throw.
Mm,
The first match it was the same case. Second match it was the same case.
mm-hmm.
I mean, I was really rooting for them, right? But like we were discussing, those two lords that they wasted, I think really cost them because the side of team Venom was just getting free farm, right? They were not utilizing those lords at all, and a few mistakes here and there in those team fights really cost them the game, which is so disappointing because I was hoping for that game number three.
Mm-hmm. You know, I genuinely forgot which side was which. I know red team won, but I was like, wait, who was on red side? It's yeah, but yeah, it was overall a great performance. Honestly, I feel like, I mean, their team, it feels like they're also kind of making a good comeback as well. Quite poetic, I would say. Like Caster's making a comeback, a team making a comeback, because Venom has been participating in other tournaments in previous month and the month before, and their performance was honestly quite underwhelming, I would say, because they were not even able to make it to the top 8. So when there were only top 16 teams, so they were basically knocked out on first rounds by other teams, some teams that we did not even know of. So I feel like Venom was really struggling previously, but right now they're doing good against a team like Experiment 5. So I feel I have a good hope of them. But of course, it's still the wildcard stages, and we still have yet to meet the top dogs, which is going to be, I mean, this is the Mythic Showdown, and the team from the Mythic leaderboards are going to be facing into those Swiss stages. And right now we are in the wildcard, so let's see which team makes it forward. And tonight we got two winners, and it is Ryuga and right now Venom. It's looking bright for them, but still I feel like they have yet to meet much stronger teams. So anything you want to add on, PG?
Very good game coming in from both the sides. I did not, I have felt like Team Experiment 5 had it on their sleeves. They were playing so well, but at the last moment, Super MM did give a very good set. Three-man caught in his walls, but unfortunately, that just went in for a wipe out and just minions pouring in. I wanted to see more of Experiment 5, but unfortunately, if they just lost it out. Venom, very good job. I want to see them on to the Swiss stages as
Mm-hmm.
well. So high expectations, definitely.
And just for information for ladies and gentlemen, this wildcard stage is round robin. So do not worry. The teams that lost tonight, they have not been disqualified. They are still in the competition. They still have a chance. So, uh, so we can still look for it, right? And
Yeah.
with that, I think we're done for tonight. But of course, tune in tomorrow as well because the wildcard stages are gonna go in. Jinx, anything you want to add before tonight?
Hoping experiments try to us.
Uh-huh. Okay. Definitely. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that was it for tonight's two best of three series matches. Do tune in tomorrow as well for the round robin stages of the wild card. We're gonna having other teams facing against each other. If you're excited for it, do comment down below which was your favorite team, and of course, which were your favorite casters. We had all female lineup today. Pretty insane. Woman empowerment. I'm honorary woman today. But yeah, jokes aside though, thanks for everybody who's tuned in. Of course, the audience is the one who makes us, gives us success. Subscribe to the channel, support Indian Gaming Corps, and that's gonna be it, ladies and gentlemen. Good night, take care, and tune in tomorrow.